Welcome back, everybody. Let's get into some of our regular features here on the show now, and we'll start off with the question of the day. So, a very, very bad day for South Africa's economy yesterday, as you saw the release of those GDP figures, and I think it took everybody by surprise. It really did. I mean, so many people just not expecting it to be as bad as it was, and that is the word from economists all over. So, here is the question that we're asking you. What interventions do you think are needed to prevent the country from entering into a recession? And this, of course, following yesterday's announcement that the South African economy has contracted by 3.2% in the first quarter of 2019. And that truly is a massive jump, and we, of course, are watching that exceptionally closely along with everybody else, ratings agencies, international investors. It just doesn't bode well for South Africa. So let us know what you think. Write to us at Morning Live SABC or the hashtag Morning Live. That's how you can get hold of us. All right, let's take a look at the diary for today and the big news events that will be dominating. You can see that the Commission of Inquiry resumes, and this, of course, now is moving into that state capture where it'll continue hearing things from Transnet related to testimony when it resumes in Parktown, Johannesburg this morning. A 19-year-old learner from a Johannesburg high school is expected to appear in court after he allegedly stabbed and killed a fellow learner. And the President's Advisory Panel on Land Reform and Agriculture is expected to submit its report to President Cyril Ramaphosa at the Union Buildings later on today. And finally, a book that looks at the trials and tribulations faced by the so-called SABC 8 journalists is to be launched in Johannesburg this evening. Right, let's move on to the trending topics of the day, and the top one there being Standard Bank. And I think this on the back of the news that it really is a sad state of affairs for many companies, but Standard Bank coming out and saying that it is going to be shutting down more than 100 of its branches. And the news basically saying that most of these branches are in Gauteng and in the Western Cape. In a notice posted on its website, the bank said it was part of its digital-first strategy. They say we're aligning our retail and business banking services so that you can bank at any time from anywhere. In the process of making these changes, we'll be closing several branches. So, yeah, quite a story, and one has to ask where, in fact, the jobs are going to go. So the listed branches that are closing in Gauteng, Alberton, Arcadia, Belfort Park, Barramail Service Centre, Benmore Gardens, and the list goes on and on. Bryanston, Brixton, there are so many of them. Rivonia, Roslyn, Sandton. And then there's a list on KwaZulu-Natal, or nationwide. You'll see, but do read the media to see whether or not the branch that you visit is closing or not. So, yeah, that's the story of Standard Bank, everyone talking to that. Then the Reserve Bank, and this is the story that got everybody talking as well, including our Finance Minister, the Secretary General, Ace Magashule, Godongwana. It's going everywhere at the moment. So, two of the ANC most senior minds on economic matters scrambled yesterday to reassure South Africans that the party's NEC was not considering expanding the mandate of the Reserve Bank. So this was Tito Mboweni and Enoch Godongwana came out to deny any concrete plans of commitments to expand the Reserve Bank's mandate, despite reports being told that was the case during a briefing at the party's NEC Lekgotla, and that, of course, coming from Ace Magashule. Mboweni tweeted that the government determines the mandate of the SARB, implying that the political party's NEC has very little to do with this regard. So I think a lot is going to come out of today. I can assure you of that one. The Ace Magashule, just to remind you, told reporters that the governing party's NEC resolved at its latest Lekgotla that the Reserve Bank's mandate should be expanded. So we'll see what goes on there. That's not on a good day where we've got such bad GDP figures. Everybody watching our economy very closely. And more trending topics. Let's have a look at what's going on there. Ayanda, and that, of course, I think is relation to A former colleague of ours here on Morning Live and at the SABC, Ayanda Ali Payne, looks like she's moving on and she's going to be taking up the position of spokesperson for the new Transport Minister, Vicky Limbalura. So we wish her well on her new duty as government spokesperson for the minister, and no doubt we'll be seeing her a lot. So there we go. And I can see Eid Mubarak also trending. So we'd also once again like to wish all of our Muslim viewers a very good Eid Mubarak and well over that. I hope your fast went well. Okay, 17 minutes past 6. Time now for, I think, a traffic update. Yeah, traffic update. Rob Burns on the line. Rob, good morning to you.
Yeah, hi, Leanne. Good morning to you. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Let's get you an update on what's happening around the country. Let's start with what we've been showing you every single morning this week so far, and we're showing you again this morning. It's the issue of burning trucks. It's happened again last night on the N3, just south of Joburg, between Vosloorus and Heidelberg. A couple of trucks burning there, and that was really disruptive for a good few hours for the motoring public. It's a big issue. We hope the authorities can really just sort of get a hold on this and get a solution to the safety of the truck drivers that are doing their business on that N3 and running into all sorts of issues with petrol bombings and trucks on fire. Not a good situation, but it continues. All right, if you're around East London, there's some more roadworks that have gone back in on Fleet Street, and this is the sort of traffic pattern you can expect to find this morning, all day long really, and again in the afternoon. As you come in on the R72, you come over Steep Eco Bridge on Settlers Way, and then you just queue getting into that restricted area on Fleet Street, the work area right in the East London CBD. Probably 20-30 minutes worth of queuing at its worst if you're inbound to East London. Keep that in mind. This is a really big story for Cape Town commuters. Boy, this caused absolute chaos on the roads last night, and it will cause a bit of extra chaos until this situation is resolved. So Chris Hani, Captain's Clip trains are terminating at Langa. There are no trains running from Chris Hani Khayelitsha and from Captain's Clip to Langa. The trains are only running these days between Langa and Cape Town. Now, the Metro Rail is saying that commuters are having to find their own alternative transport. There's no replacement bus service. Now, that's problems on the trains. Also, the N2 Express, the My City bus service, is also suspended coming out of that area, Mitchell's Plain and Khayelitsha as well. So two really big transport options out of the equation. It will see more traffic. It will see more delays in those areas. And what happened? Well, late yesterday, we got notification of the fuel price change for June as we hit the new month. It was issued very, very late. I think only about 6 o'clock last night. I know a lot of filling stations were panicking about this because they had to adjust prices at 12 and they didn't even know really late until what was happening. But there we go. Petrol going up 9 cents a litre. Diesel 33 cents. I say going up. It's already up. It went up last night at midnight. All right, we'll leave it there. Let's get ourselves a weather update. See how we're set today. Good morning, Aswi.